Hey, G!
Hey, Arthur!
Yay!
Hurry up, I got a lot to tell you.
Yeah, it's us. We're coming up the hill. Here it is.
It's 600 feet studio. We're pretty high up there.
How was that? We're done.
And it's definitely not the desert up here.
Oh, my God.
You know, we got snow like you would not believe yesterday.
I saw the pictures.
I'm looking at Donald Trump in Saudi Arabia. It's 110 degrees.
I know. Pretty awesome, huh? Hey, great speech. Jeez.
Oh, he moved my heart. I cried through that speech. It was so beautiful.
Oh, nice job, by the way, on the astrology update that she has. Check out YouTube. Gene did a great job. Nice job.
Oh, it's on, we'll put it on our Trek Upward radio show website, but it's also under my name, Gene Hart, astrologer.
Yep.
Or G, astrology.
Or G.
Listen.
What?
You were telling me a couple days ago.
Yes.
Tell me.
What?
How you
Oh,
were feeling.
Gene and I were talking, and you could feel the groundswell of energy that was going on. I mean, Gene and I try to tune into what's happening, and she'll get some prompting. Some folks will send her emails or whatever on her list. But I had gotten a strong prompting based on what was happening in the press that Trump was getting hammered, and I mean hammered with a capital H.
And I was getting all these emails from people going, "Oh my God, Trump's going to be impeached! Yep. Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Wait a minute." So I pulled up all the charts, and I'm like, you know what? Trump has our back. We need to have his back. And not only that, he's going to surprise the heck out of us with foreign people. So listen to that show. I predicted it ahead of time, but the thing is he did.
Yes. Well, there were two kind of mandates that came out of that meeting with the Saudis. One of them was, well, I got to tell you, one of the things that really impressed me was the fact that he came back and said to the Saudi Arabians, first off, he was very conscious of the fact that there were interpreters that he had to be slow for. I appreciated that.
I think he was tired because he's on a totally different schedule than they are.
I think he was holding back because of the translation that had to happen. But what he did say, which I don't think I've ever heard a president say ever, was that he basically said, look, like having family around and children growing up and not being afraid of bombs going off and things happening to them in their cities and places being destroyed, you guys are going to have to kick these out of your own country. I don't think I've ever heard a president hold them to task. And this
he also called it good and evil.
Yes.
He said there's the good. I loved that.
Oh, it was awesome. So
he called it what it was.
Yep. So you have to understand the press will never give him a fair shake because he's going against the evil that is trying to tear down America and wants to control the population. So
we're the new press. We're the new press, and we are going to tell you that Trump has your back, and we need to have his back. And we need to stand up and stop these liberals and these nonsense and big mouths who are just being brainwashed by subliminal seduction through hearing something over and over and over again.
Yeah, I heard some things
on
from
CNN.
I heard some things from some people that I would have thought better of, and they're being convinced by that message, the repetitive message.
It's the drum beat. The drum beat. You say something over and over again. In advertising, there's a rule of thumb. If you say something 7 times, let's say you do a commercial for a radio show.
There.
You got to say it 7 times before it actually even enters the brain and somebody thinks of calling you. So, I mean, advertising could get quite expensive if you have to say it 7 times to get somebody's attention. CNN has been saying it over and 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 over. If I hear that word again, I'll tell you. So we need to... I turn it off. I cannot. I will not. I know the chart. He is a very powerful, good man with a great motive to make America great again, and I will fight with love.
You go, girl.
For his victory. I will fight with love for his victory because I'm not gonna have a violent ever. I am not violent. I love, and you know what? That's the way we're gonna have the victory, and that's why our press is better than their press.
Yeah, no joke, and Look again, because there's more behind this. So he's the first person who's basically saying, what? We don't want the one world order. We don't want this. Don't jam it down our throats. This is what's happening. American people will like it. So what's the first thing they do? Oh, he can't lead. There's this Russian problem, blah, 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 which has been proven
But
over
that's
and
because
over
they're
again.
brainwashed. They're
Yep.
brainwashed. The press is brainwashed.
Yeah.
And some of them are actually evil. But most of them are just brainwashed. They're doing who the heck is the editor? You know?
Yep.
For CNN. I want to see his little face. Because you know what? He's going to have to stand before Almighty God one day and realize how many people he has brainwashed or they have brainwashed. They're going to have accountability for that. That is huge karma. Cause, effect, I don't care what you say, everything comes back like a boomerang.
Well, that's interesting you should say that, which also goes for those that have information that needs to be revealed that would undo all this negativity that's been going on over there. If you have something of the truth and you do not share it, then you will also be karmically accountable.
That's right.
For that.
And in a way, Trump was saying that in his speech this morning, which I loved hearing because it's like at inner levels. And we all have an inner level where you just, you go home and you're alone and you close your eyes and you go inside and you go, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm feeling. I think that at inner levels, Trump knows that. He knows. And let's give him the credit of being called what he should be called, President Trump.
Of the United States. See,
he is. He's a powerful man.
The one thing, right, wrong, or indifferent, whether or not you believe it or not, that office is a mantle. It's a mantle that he carries, and it is a spiritual office. Believe it or not, even though you might think it's a secular political office, it actually carries a spiritual frequency and a vibration. So,
and it's a mantle in the sense of, it's almost at inner levels. That this person is the person that's in charge of whatever. And I tell you, when he gave that speech today, I felt the presence of Almighty God on him. I don't know what it was. It was like it filled the room. And if you looked into the faces of all the listeners, there was 50 leaders there listening to him. And they were profoundly moved by him. Nobody was yawning. Everybody had their full attention on him. And they wanted to hear that which he said. And I think the neatest thing that he said was, they're fighting about religion, but they're not fighting about God.
That's true. Yeah. And he made mention about the souls of the guys that were actually committing, the terrorism, that they had to drop, this false belief that they were going to be rewarded in the name of God for killing. I mean, that was incredible.
God gives life, not death.
Exactly. Oh, it was awesome. I mean, I haven't heard a spiritually oriented speech by a president for a long time.
Oh, both my husband and I were in tears. We were in tears listening to him.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I was so moved, and just watching, I think what really drove the narrative between my husband and I about this whole thing was Trump said it 3 times. Drive them out. Drive them out. Drive them out.
Right. Drive them out of your neighborhoods, drive them out of your schools, drive them out of your... Yep. He was right. That was absolutely right. So,
and see, that's what fiats are. Fiats are energy that go out of your mouth and cause a happening. You say them enough, just like the subliminal seduction of the CNN. They're saying it over and over. Oh, let's impeach him. Let's impeach him. They're trying to. That is exactly what they're doing. So when you make fiats like that over and over again, you're creating. And people don't really understand what they're doing. They have this all power. We all do, individually. When you really want something and you put your passion behind it, you get results. If you just want something and you don't put anything into it, you're not going to get anything. And Trump is a doer. So he drove that fiat. Drive them out. Drive them out of your country.
Yep.
Drive them out of everything.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. There's a wind coming in, I tell you, and that is a golden age. Have you ever heard that concept before, a golden age?
I have heard that concept, yes.
I think it's a high age for civilization. It's a time of peace. It's a time of great enlightenment. And I do believe that Donald Trump is the forerunner. He's putting himself out there and bringing all the chess pieces into a place, moving everybody into where they need to be so that we can bring in this good, high, peaceful society. Because we've gotten so decadent. And again, we go back into history. Atlantis sunk because people were decadent. You know, what are we doing here in America? Transgenders. I mean, we're changing our sex. We're denying our First Amendment.
Denying life.
Freedom of speech.
I think there's positive action that's going on here. Did you see what what Oklahoma did? They passed in their House resolution was just passed in Oklahoma, which will be moved to the Senate, God knows, where they basically called abortion a crime. And that anything was, taking out of life that anything out of life as murder is defined as murder. So it also reaffirmed the fact that any life is God-given life and has the rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Hello?
That particular show that I just did, that I hope everybody listens to, Trump Has Our Back, Not the Media. I get into that thing about life. But I also get into the thing that Trump's a doer. And the way that we can help Trump is by doing too. And the reason why the liberals, the Dems, the people that are crazy are getting so much attention is because they're out there doing stuff, even though they're doing negative things to get their attention. We're just sitting there passively watching the news and seeing, oh my God, are they really doing that?
Well,
instead of getting out and doing it ourselves.
Well,
get on the radio, get on the wherever your bandstand, wherever you are, and stand for truth.
Some of that I agree with. That is. That maybe there isn't some stuff going on. But again, how do you know that they are or not unless the press covers the fact that they are out there doing it, and we're not getting press coverage? I mean, Trump's candidacy showed and proved that he was not going to get media coverage unless he paid for it. So the way that it came out was he ended up paying for these rallies, and that's the only way he could get any kind of press at all. He had to physically pay for that stuff.
Account.
Right. So I know there's good people out there that are trying their best to get this, but we have to make the spiritual work and the prayer work behind this to cut free and to bind those conditions that are keeping those messages from going out. And that's all part and parcel of the fallen angels and the dark forces trying to keep us under wraps. And that's what's happening.
You have to stand up. You have to stand up. You can't just passively watch either the world fall apart or come together. You have to participate. You have life. The fact that you have life means it's your opportunity to stand for freedom.
That's it. Good. Well said.
Line.
Well said. And that's what we're doing here. That's what we're attempting to do with this show. That's
our 2 cents. This is our 2 cents trying to save a planet.
Oh, God. Yeah. Get out there. Help us out. Come on. So we need to.
So if it's hard for us, think about Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. My gosh, he's got shoulders that are boulders.
All right, here, we'll throw the challenge out there. I'm going to throw the gauntlet out there to the audience. We have some really good listeners that have been listening to us for over a year, almost 2 years, and we're asking you to share our shows that you think have some value and merit to them, because then you can do something that'll help this message. Gene and I are willing to get before the microphones and get the message, but then if you could pass this along, get it to family, friends, and you don't have to worry about them listening or not. Just say, hey, look, I heard something on the air. This was pretty good. I heard it on internet or whatever, or not, or at least here's a message, that you might want to. And by golly, send that out there. Do your part. There we are. We need people to listen to these shows because our ratings are actually being blocked by Facebook and by YouTube, because we're still hitting these glass ceilings. So there has to be something that has to have enough of a momentum behind it, as did the presidency, so that we can push through that glass ceiling and get enough people listening. So that we get the numbers, and then they'll be out in front of other people. We'll get that message out. But we're willing to get that message out if you help us spread it.
Those are called algorithms.
Yeah, algorithms. So.
And I don't know who's in control of that, but the few have control of it instead of the many. And I think, this is America, freedom of the press, freedom of speech. We should all be able to get on and say whatever we want without someone on the internet manipulating,
right.
you can't talk.
That's right. We'll stop your
Unless
message.
you go through the FCC.
You don't have enough people following. You haven't paid for it. You haven't done this. You haven't done that. Well, by golly, we have paid for it. We've put a lot of energy and time into this, and we want to go forward
No
with it.
kidding.
So.
And who are they, you know?
Yeah.
Why should I have to pay someone to say what's in my heart?
Exactly.
Who are they?
Who are those? They.
So now they'll probably say, oh, we can't let you be on social media anymore because you just insulted us.
Yeah, that's right. So no more social media. But we'll get our words out there anyway. So for what it's
really. I have one of those horns, you know.
Oh.
They run on a battery.
Yeah.
I'll just get in my car and drive down the street. Hello, everybody. Donald Trump's astrology today is awesome.
I could see you. Like, you see those old movies, right, from the 20s and the 30s, and they had those great big huge speakers mounted on the top of this old car, right?
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to hear this. Donald Trump is our president. Get over it.
Oh, my God. That's exactly what they did in Smith Goes to Washington.
I know.
You know, they got on the cars with their horns. The kids, all the kids did.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, I mean, this is what's happening, and this is what we're being driven and pushed to have to do.
Yes.
You know, Donald Trump's chart, is the chart of a man who can take us into a good stand.
All right, let me ask you a couple questions. Point blank. Is that the chart of a leader?
He's more than a leader. He's the president of the United States, and we need to listen to him because he's got the smarts.
Does that chart show it?
That chart, I wouldn't be saying it if it didn't show it.
All right.
Furthermore, now he's going to be full of surprises, as I predicted in that show, Trump's Got Our Back, that he was going to, do things with foreigners that was just going to mind boggle everyone because it's so good. And he hasn't been gone for 2 days. And he immediately picks up on that Uranus trine Mars is what that is. And he goes into Saudi Arabia, and they give him the most royal treatment that could possibly ever be given by someone from America, in the sense that Obama just about destroyed it for us, and whoever was president before him. Seriously, we got trouble in the Middle East because of those presidents and because of those dark forces that refuse to show their faces and say, what is money going to get them anyway? Even if they had all the money in the world, what's it going to get them if they don't do something to make this planet great again? I mean, God.
Are you serious?
It's
well,
like,
it goes back. This it gets
I know,
heavy.
Fallen angels among us.
Yeah, and
Fallen
why?
angels
Because
among
they
us
know the
everywhere.
rules. They know the rules that they'll take embodiment over and over again, unless we down here challenge the fact that they're doing what they're doing.
Well, there's a point where that embodiment stops. There's a point where they can't do that anymore, and they go down the tube into the big.
And it's also our responsibility to be the eyes and ears of God in the physical. So that's where we just make the call, and you let God sort it out, decide what He's going to do with them. But we have to make the call. You have to make the call.
Did you ever hear about the word in the many stories that have been talked about of the Holy Grail?
Yes.
The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is inside your heart. Isn't that amazing? It's inside your heart. Now, what does that mean? Have you ever just stopped, closed your eyes, and gone into your heart to feel what it feels like to be in your heart? And started meditating on what it feels like to love something like a little newborn baby or maybe a bluebird out there or something, No, I'm serious.
No, I get it.
If you do this, it'll take you in to a reservoir or a secret chamber in your heart that is so profound and electric that you will not know what hit you. You think you had some good sexual experiences in your life? This has nothing to do with sex. It's it takes sex and puts it in the garbage, basically. This where this can take you if you would just do it.
And with that note,
No, do you know what I mean? There's
Yes.
something very special inside your heart, deep, 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 deep. But you got to go into it. It's like climbing into a cave. You don't know where it's going to end up.
and the other part of this too is you have to understand that there's rules and ways to do this that are healthy and normal and everything else that you can.
So yeah, here we go. Lecture: eat, eat, eat right. Think, think, think right. You know,
Watch the good stuff, right? Put your attention on that. Stay
put
away from the
beauty
sugars.
in your third eye.
That's
yeah.
right. There we are again. See, it all fits.
Hang out with all the nice people and go where the love is. No, go where the love isn't.
That's right.
Of
Nothing
course,
but
unless
love.
you do a radio show, because they're going to hear our show and go, "Oh my God!"
Wow. Anyway, I'm impressed, but please, everybody, do whatever you can. Prayer, whatever, writing letters. Turn attention away from what's going on because the one thing I want to
letter.
the one thing I
One
want to
letter
ask you
to
one
your
question.
congressman.
Yes, it's the same as
One
what?
letter to your congressman.
Yeah.
It represents 30,000 people. So if you wrote your congressman, because so few people get involved, you know, if we just bombarded Congress, Senate with, you know, we like what Trump's doing, we want more of it, just literally just overdose them with letters. Hey, that's something else they did in Smith Goes to Washington. They had the big bags of letters that they brought in at the end,
Yes.
you know? Because America is awake and America is for Trump, and CNN is a big fat liar.
Hey, you know, I just flashed on something that you're thinking about this. I'm going to change gears a little bit. It was one thing that we were mentioning, and you had mentioned something in the. We have talked about this over and over again. The potential that Donald Trump is George S. Patton Jr. And both Gene and I are convinced of it, the fact because of my depth study. I've studied this guy for so many years. But if you're interested in this, watch the movie Patton, because in the beginning of the movie Patton, he is standing in front of Tunisians, and you have to see this. And he's standing there watching a military parade of Tunisians, and I was reminded of this scene when Trump was saying something, and he was trying to commend them on how this beautiful place was, and this where they were eating their meal and all this, and how it looked and everything else. And in the Patton movie, Patton is asked by the Tunisian prime minister or whoever at the time, and all these guys are going by on camels, and he says, "What do you think of our country, General?" And he turns to him and he said it was magnificent. He said it was magnificent. It was a blending of, what did he say? He said it was a blending of the Bible and Hollywood, and it sounded just like what was going on when Trump was talking about the place that they were eating. And so you got to see that movie and watch the parallels, because George C. Scott did a really good job of bringing this guy's personality out, and I think you will see many, many parallels to our current president. Do it. I mean,
oh yeah, oh my
check
God,
it out.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and in fact, Gene alluded to him potentially being Hannibal. We knew that George Patton was Hannibal,
and Cyrus.
And during the movie Patton, he actually talks about a scene where Hannibal is defeated. There's the Carthaginians and the Roman legions that are there, and you have to see that scene.
He brought people together. He brought people together.
You got to see this. I'm telling you,
that's what he's
see
doing
the movie,
now.
check it out, and there's so much in there, and you look at the parallels, you go, oh my God, just discern.
Well, no, look in the history books and the parallels, because again, as Cyrus, as Hannibal, what did they do? What did they do that is what Trump does? He's got such a momentum on it. It's amazing.
Yeah. So anyway,
bringing
there we
people
are.
together. And when I saw him go into Saudi Arabia, and in fact, the fact that he even chose Saudi Arabia as the first place to go on his trip.
He didn't shy away from it. Right into
what
the
has
lion's
everybody
den.
said for the last 2 years? Oh, he doesn't like Muslims. Oh my God, he loves people is what he loves. He loves Muslims. He loves Indians. He loves Hindus. He loves me. And he loves you.
He did call out Iran.
He wants to make America great again.
And he did call out Iran in that speech. So, and rightly so. Yeah, he called them out. He said that they were the
Well,
biggest
you know,
threat
he
to
didn't
the
call
region.
out he didn't call out Iran the people.
Nope.
He wants the people to be okay. He called out the leadership, the power, you know, and I talked about this in the last show about first place people fall is on power. They get a little power and they all of a sudden they think, oh, you know.
Yeah.
And they can manipulate people to do what they say.
Well, think about this. If you're a military strategist, what would be, and you have your enemy attacking you and what they say is your weakest point, which has always been the anti-Muslim message. They've been firing this. So what's he do? He walks right into the lion's den and just shows it like it is, and that's it. Boom. Silence the critics. Good job.
He has no fear, and none of us can have fear. Yeah, really good job, President Donald J. Trump. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for having the courage to be who you are. And my salute, if I knew how to salute right, you know, I have this friend who's in the military, and he's been trying to teach me how to keep my wrist. You know, there's a certain way that you can't put your wrist, and you got to be at the corner of your eyebrow.
Yep.
There's a right way to salute and a wrong way. I had no idea.
Yep. And it's like kind of a turn down with the hand.
Arthur, I just hope we said something there that might galvanize people, inspire them, and get them to stand up and do something and have Trump's back.
Oh, I hope so too. Really, people, America, it's up to us, and you have to recognize the fact that it is now up to us to support this opportunity that we
Don't
have.
just say, "Oh my God, he's going to be impeached." Get up and say, "I love you, Trump, and I want to help you. What can I do? Send me." That's what we need to do instead of sitting there watching everybody torture the poor guy to.
How can I help? What can we do?
Yeah.
What can you do? What can you do right where you're sitting? If you want some ideas, go out to prophecyisgiven.com, write letters. There's calls out there that you can give. Do your own prayers, put stuff together, do your astrology, get Gene to do it, everything. Let's do it.
Everything. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, I'm out of here. Me and William are going down and get some. You want carrot juice again?
Nope. I'm thinking about having a cup of coffee.
Oh! All right.
Uh-oh's right.
All right.
Yeah, you know.
So we better get out of here. Well, all right. We'll see you next time. And stay with us. And thank you for listening. Always victory. Bye.
Let Gene do an astrology consultation for you, your family, or your friends. Go to astrologygenehart.com or give her a call or text her at 1-406-599-3934. There are powerful spiritual tools available to help you deal with planetary and personal challenges, and these can be found at prophecyisgiven.com. And be sure to visit our website at thetrekupwardradioshow.com or stop by on Facebook at www.facebook.com/trekupward. And be sure to hit like on our page. Or visit YouTube and search for the Trek Upward Radio Show. Be sure to subscribe so you do not miss another episode of the Trek Upward Radio Show. The Trek Upward Radio Show is a studio at 5,600 feet production.